I mean, ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people, realize what's really going on in this country.
Before they put you on the field, teams poke, prod, and examine you.
Look at this here. Come on, who wants this?
The scene cuts back and forth between slave owners and coaches.
And I will tell you that, my son is not playing football now, but he was recruited to play football for college. And I saw the combines for the first time, and they were measuring his wingspan. They had him jump up and down to measure something that's called a vertical jump. And I felt some kind of way about it.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to another video exposing the race hustlers. Now look, my hair's kind of crazy today. I didn't have time to put any water on it or any products, so it was kind of dry and crazy, but sometimes the boy just has to film and does not have time to fix this hair, okay? So just bear with me. As you saw from the intro, we are talking about Mr. Colin Kaepernick. Now, for most of you, I'm sure you already know that Colin is a person who used to be an NFL player. He literally started a movement of having athletes kneel during the national anthem as a way of protest against this country, to say that this country is racially biased, this country is just inherently racist, this country doesn't treat black people well, this country is pretty much flawed in every single way, and is just as bad as it was back during the civil rights era, according to Kaepernick and his ideology. Not a fan of the country, not a fan of playing for the NFL league. And as you saw in the intro, Colin was very, very vocal. He even did a documentary on Netflix, which exposed the NFL, in which he compares the NFL literally to a slave plantation.
NFL players who dramatically turn into slaves headed to the auction block. Yep, the former NFL player compares the league's draft process to the slave auction block.
A slave plantation. Think about that for a second. A slave plantation. Slaves who were forced into labor, slaves who did not get paid, slaves who were abused and used every single day and treated like animals. That was their experience. And here you have Colin Kaepernick, a millionaire, getting paid by the NFL, a league that he chose to join. Nobody forced him. And a league that gave him an elevated lifestyle of a lot of money and access. And he's comparing his rich life as a biracial man to that of black men who were sold into slavery, who were forced to work on plantations in the South. And according to him, it's the same thing. Same thing. No difference. Forced labor, getting paid millions. And so you're probably wondering, why am I bringing this up now? We already know the story. We know all about Colin Kaepernick and his perspective, his ideology, his movement, what he stands for. He left the NFL. He says that they're racist, etc., right? So the reason why I'm talking about this again is because Mr. Kaepernick is back in the news, but not for the reason you may think. See, Colin saw an opportunity. So on the New York Jets team, one of the quarterbacks ended up leaving, and a new quarterback is now trying to take his place, which is a lot to handle as a newcomer, and he's trying to figure things out. And Colin took this opportunity to reach out to the Jets owner to try and appeal to him as to why he should be a part of the team as far as practicing wise, and eventually maybe he could be on the team full time and help them get a ring. He doesn't quite say that in detail, but he alludes to that in his letter. I have the letter here. So in it is a very long letter, but towards the end, after he's, telling the coach why he thinks he should be a part of the practice team to help the players, he then goes on to say, this would also allow you guys as an organization to take a real look at where I'm at, himself, football-wise, in game-like situations against an elite defense. So you want the officials to look at you to get a good look at where you're at. Funny, would that be a good look like the plantation owners looking at the slaves to see where they're good at? No, not the same thing. But I thought it was the same thing. I thought it was no different than a slave plantation. Wow. When race hustling no longer pays the bills. And to my shock in all of this was watching The Breakfast Club and their reaction to this, and I guess hell must have froze over because I actually agree with Charlemagne the God, who had this to say regarding Colin writing this letter to the Jets.
What are your thoughts, Charlemagne?
I'm gonna say exactly what I said a little while ago. It's tragically sad and downright pathetic that Colin Kaepernick wrote that letter. It pains me to see that man begging to be in a league that he called racist and compared to a plantation.
Where's the lie at? Where's it at? See, when you build your entire platform on the idea that an organization is inherently racist and no different than a slave plantation, and then you write a letter to Massa asking him to come back to that organization, to the plantation, to work, and hopefully they can get a good look at you to see how good you are, that is called being a hypocrite, and also a liar, and also a race hustler, which leads me to believe that this entire movement that he started is garbage. Because if you truly believed that the organization that you worked for was inherently racist and you were so upset about that and so appalled by that, the last thing you would do is sell your soul back to that organization. But here Colin is asking for a comeback. And again, if the organization is inherently racist, why would you as a black man want to even be a part of that organization in any way, shape, or form? Why? Could it be that you got used as the face of this movement because you were rich and wealthy and a part of a big organization, and the other race hustlers who didn't have the same attraction as you saw you as a great face for this movement, and now you realize I got used and I gotta pay the bills? Yeah. Too little, too late. Here are some more clips of other people reacting to Colin Kaepernick's pathetic comeback.
The letter was shared on Cole's Instagram account on Tuesday. In part, it read, worst case scenario, you see what I have to offer and you're not impressed. Best case scenario, you realize you have a real weapon at your disposal in the event you ever need to use it. Stephen A., what's your reaction?
Sadness. Because it ain't going to happen. Now, mind you, let's keep this in mind. Most people don't sue their former employer and then turn around and try to go back to work for them. January 1st will mark 7 years that Colin Kaepernick hasn't been in the league. And in the year 2023, on opening day, just a few weeks ago, the NFL started 14 black quarterbacks. 7 of the top 11 paid quarterbacks in the National Football League are black.
He took 2 years off from football, and we're seeing him try to find it. Kaepernick's been out for 6 years, right? 6 years. He said in his letter to Joe Douglas a lot of things. And I thought the tone of the letter was vastly different than I think a lot of people would have expected. He said, hey, I just let me lead the practice squad. And best case scenario, you find out that I'm still got it, which I believe I still got it. Worst case scenario, you just let me go. But this letter has made its way around because his tone seems to be vastly different than it has been. If you're out of the game for 5 years, I just think that's going to take a toll on your ability.
Sure. I appreciate J. Cole, and I'm glad and I respect the fact that he wants him to have an opportunity to play just like I do. But I'm also not oblivious to the fact that that dream is dead, man. Well, we every year we keep trying to bring Kaepernick back into the National Football League. It's not gonna happen.
And then, of course, there's everyone's favorite race hustler, Jemele Hill, who wrote, the Jets instead chose to sign Trevor Siemian, who, check notes, is 31 years old and hasn't won a game since 2017. But sure, Colin isn't playing because it's Deuce's football decision. Deuces. I mean, this is a woman who also jumped on a bandwagon, didn't waste any time to accuse the NFL of being racist, a racist organization, and everything under the sun. In fact, here's a snippet of her back in 2020 defending Colin Kaepernick, who at the time did not want to have to do a warm-up workout with the Miami Dolphins because he felt like it was just too much and he shouldn't have to perform for anybody because they know his stats.
The setup of what the NFL proposed was a sham from the beginning. The scouts, the team owners, the coaches, they have had Colin Kaepernick's number for years. They know where he is. All right, if they were really that interested in him, they wouldn't put him through something like what they were proposing. And then people expected him to fully trust the league when they had just been in court battling over a grievance. So he's going to leave this entire workout in their hands. He's going to allow the league to send their version of edited footage to the team.
Funny, well, fast forward just 4 years later, and here the same lady is now upset that the NFL isn't giving Colin Kaepernick the same chance that he pretty much snubbed back in 2019 with the Miami Dolphins. But now she wants the New York Jets to pretty much do the exact same thing that the Dolphins were going to do for him, and they should just accept it because he's Colin Kaepernick. My, how the mighty have fallen. So in 2019, he was too good for an official tryout with the Miami Dolphins, right? That was a sham. But now in 2023, it's please Jets, just see him. And if not, then you're just racist. I think the funniest part about all of this is looking at the comments and seeing people who are sort of like perplexed. They're like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I had his back. I was with him. Fight the good fight. And now they're kind of like, well, damn, this don't look good. Again, This is what happens when you try to capitalize on things and it backfires. And you realize that perhaps all of your emotions were not put in check. You were way off on your perception of how things are run. I mean, the fact that you have Sunny Hostin on The View, a complete idiot, but nonetheless on The View on a large platform, co-signing this behavior and saying, well, you know, when my son was playing football, they used to measure his arms too and make him jump up and down, and they wanted to test his agility, just like Colin.
What he says during that comparison is, what they don't want you to understand is what's being established is a power dynamic. Before they put you on the field, teams poke, prod, and examine you, searching for any defect that might affect your performance. No boundary respected, no dignity left intact. And I will tell you that, you know, my son is not playing football now, but he was recruited to play football for college. And I saw the combines for the first time, and they were measuring his wingspan. They had him jump up and down to measure something that's called a vertical jump. And I felt some kind of way about it.
And it made me feel some type of way. If you join any sport, I don't care what it is, whether it be football, basketball, gymnastics, swimming, they're going to test your agility. The coaches are going to line you up and they're going to make sure that their athletes are fit to compete in the sport. And if not, they're going to fix whatever issue is needed so that you can be the best athlete possible for that team. That is across the board on any sport. And the fact that you have race hustlers like Sunny Hostin and Colin Kaepernick trying to compare sports and how they rank players and how they rank athletes into a slave auction is pathetic. It's reaching, it's dangerous, it's a lie, and to me, it is the ultimate offense to real racism that happens in this country. But yeah, let's call the NFL, and why not we just call every sport, for that matter, a slave plantation if they are analyzing an athlete. Look, all I gotta say is the grass wasn't greener on the other side, was it, Colin? Good luck on your journey. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this story. Do you think Colin was a complete fraud from jump, or do you think he had a leg to stand on or a knee to kneel on when this originally came out? I think he should contact the BLM organizer, Patrice Cullors, and see if maybe she has some money that she can lend him. Because we all know now that the BLM organization was a complete fraud, as she used millions of dollars to give to her boyfriend and to her mom and to her brother and to trans organizations, and none of it went to any actual black organizations to help the black community. And that includes George Floyd's family, who received $0 from that organization. But hey, maybe there's some spare change for you there, Colin. How about you just call Patrice? If you guys enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. If you guys want to follow me on other social media platforms, I'm also available on TikTok and on Instagram under CurlyBoyChuck, where I'm continuously being canceled just for you. Until next time, peace.